Okay, hello guys, welcome back. Here we are in Rhino. We're still building this water bottle, and let's see, in the last videos, we went through all the steps to make this thing, capped it off at the bottom so it's ready for engineering. And the next step to finishing out this product is going to be to build the actual the body of the thing where the water goes. So we're going to do that in another file, actually. Even though we could do it here in Rhino, we could just take this thing, we could use Gumball to push it up and then go side view and build down from there. We have so many different construction curves and different curves running here that moving things around at this point, I think, is not really going to do it too many favors, and it's going to just open up the opportunity for trouble later on down the road if we do need to make changes. So that being said, I also kind of just like to work this way because I'm a little bit more familiar with SolidWorks, and in SolidWorks you're usually building you're building every part, every piece of a product is built in its own part file, and then you put all those part files together into an assembly. So I just kind of work in that way. It's up to you how you want to do it, but if you want to follow along with me, I'm going to go just through the process of starting up a brand new file. Okay. So I'm going to go File, and we're going to go New, and we don't have to save any of these changes because we got them saved. I'm going to do a small objects millimeters template file, just like that, and we'll go Open, and we'll just set up our layers here for success. We'll keep the default layer as is. We'll set up a curves layer here, and we'll set up a surfaces layer. We'll do a construction layer if we need one. Okay, and then we'll take these others out. If we need them, we'll use them later. Okay. So double click back on the default layer to get that one as the layer you're working on, and then we'll go from there. Now I've got some measurements taken off the bottle. I got a little photo here on my desk here at home. If you want to see a little behind the scenes look of what it's like here. Here we go. I've got some rough sketches. I've got my digital calipers out. I got some dimensions. I got a good cup of coffee going. Always I keep markers on my desk, stuff like that. So, just that's what it looks like here at my place, and that's, how I kind of always work. So get yourself a good, strong cup of coffee, and we'll see how quickly we can knock through this thing, because this is not a very complicated part here. I mean, if I go here to my, I've got my iCloud up here, and I got some other photos of this thing. You can see here when I bought this thing, I mean, this is really going to be just a revolve, a single revolve. The difficult part about it is going to be to get the dimensions right, and so then we've got some issues as far as trying to create the wall thicknesses and stuff. Most of this build is going to be pretty easy, so I'm feeling good about it. Okay, so let's get right into it. Okay, we'll just probably go to the one of these side views will work. Probably the front view for me. I like that one, and just kind of get ourselves organized here. Remember, this red line is going to be your ground plane, so we want to work kind of off of that. So one thing I want to do just to start here, one thing I haven't really done is take a complete measurement of top to bottom. I don't really have that right now, so I'm going to just wing it, guys. Okay, so let's just do that. I'll start off with a polyline, and that's just a straight line. So, and then I'm just going to make sure I've got grid snap turned on to keep myself a little bit organized. And, I know this thing's quite a few millimeters up here, so I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll start way up here and see what we get, okay? All right, so I'm just going to set my first point right on the green line there. That's right on the z-axis, okay? And then I'm going to move over to the left, and I've taken a measurement that's 58.85 as the entire diameter of the top of this water bottle. So I'm going to go, and up here at the command line, I'm going to type in 58 58.85 divided by, excuse me, 58.85 divided by 2, okay? And that's going to give me the radius, or not the radius, but that's going to give me the dimension I need, okay? So I can just kind of click anywhere. I just want to make sure that I'm lined up horizontal, so I'll just click once. There you go. And it's asking me next point of polyline. So I can do this. I can continue using the measurements that I took when I measured this with my calipers. So the next measurement is going to be down, and it's going to be 14.78. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and type that up in here, 14.78. Okay, and you see how that works. Now the point on the line is the measurement that you've entered in. Everything beyond that turns white, so that's the way that works. I'll hold down Shift to just hold the line straight, and click once. There we go. Then I have to go over here to the left again, and the measurement that I'm going to do there is 5 millimeters. So I can just type in a 5, okay, and then we'll hold down Shift to hold that straight, and we can keep going like this. We're just going to drop this down 14.5 now, so let's do that. Type in 14.5, hit enter, okay, hold this down, and remember that point is the desired dimension, so click once. There you go. Okay, now we're going to stop there, as a matter of fact, because we've got an inset here. We've got an angle that we have to define, and I never took the angle. Okay, so what I did do is I took the measurement of the inside wall there. So I'm just going to go ahead and just hit enter to drop the tool and finish that off, okay? And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'm going to set a line a certain distance over from the center line here, and it's going to be a 7.4 millimeter line, and it's going to be about 26 millimeters over from the z-axis. And so I want to get that figured out really well, so I'm going to click just once here, and then I'm going to go 7.4, and then I'll hold this. Okay, I'm just dropping that line anywhere in space. Okay, now I'm going to move it over until it lines up with the z-axis, and it's sitting right there. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the red arrow of the gumball here, okay, and I'm going to type in a measurement, okay, and it's going to be a negative measurement because I actually want the line to go this way, okay, so I'm going to type in the negative. All right, I'll do 52/2, okay, and that's going to move that over just to where I need it to be, okay. All right, perfect. Okay, now I just need to take one more quick measurement here while we're live and direct. I'm just realizing I kind of didn't do that. It's about 11.3 millimeters over. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to figure out how far down this needs to go. So it's about, that's a 10. Yeah, so we're going to move this pretty much all the way down here. So it's 11 millimeters from about here to about here, okay? So this dimension here is 11 millimeters. So we know that this is spaced correctly, so now all we need to do is take a single polyline and just connect these two lines together. Now, we've got grid snap on right now, and what we want to do is transform into object snap, so we can snap onto this line work that we've made. So we'll turn off grid snap, we'll turn on object snap, snap to the end point. Look at object snap while we're at it here. It's an interesting one because it has a lot more parameters than any of the other snaps. So object snap has all these parameters here that kind of define how you snap onto an object. So I've got end point, and I've got midpoint, and I've got quadrant here. And these are just all the types of snaps that I can snap onto another object. So object snap, end, just like that. And then I'll just hit the right mouse button to just drop that tool. And there you go. That's that. Okay. Looking good. Okay. Now we're going to have to do that again. Okay. This time we're going to do something kind of tricky. We've got to go ahead and we've got to set another bit of line work over here, and it's going to be a precisely drawn line, so it's going to be a polyline. So just follow along with me here, and I'm just going to kind of wing it here. I'm going to switch back over to grid snap, and I'm going to kind of just eyeball this kind of spacing, and then after setting the first point of the line, I'm going to go ahead and just type in the dimension, which is 105 millimeters. Okay, so I'll just type in 105. Okay. I'll hold down my shift key. There we go. To hold it straight. There we go. There you go. And then I'll right click to drop that. Okay. And I'm going to do my little trick again where I move it over in line with the y-axis, or sorry, the z-axis, and then I'm going to push it back over the exact distance that I need it to be. Okay. And that distance is going to be half of 74. Okay. So I'm going to type in negative 74 divided by 2. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now just one more dimension here, guys, while we're doing this. Just kind of winging it. There we go. Same thing. It's about 11. Okay. So just going to take this guy and I'm just going to move it down about 11. There we go. And then I'll just attach it using an object snap. Okay. Just like that. There we go. Okay. We're still at it, so let's keep going. All right. Next thing we got to do is we're going to be building out the bottom piece here, so we'll do that. Okay. All right. So what I want to do is I want to excuse me while I just measure this thing. I'm going to go ahead and just attach a polyline right to the end here, and then I'm going to type in 20, which is the measurement down we need to go. Okay. And I'll just drop this kind of anywhere. All right. Perfect. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach onto the end of that, and I'm going to just snap right over here to the center of my world. Okay. Okay, now I could take a little bit more time on that, definitely. Let me just go ahead and double check here because I do have some measurements here. Half of 63 is the bottom, so I'm going to just attach right onto that and go 1, and then we'll go 63 divided by 2. Okay, so this line should actually go and snap right onto here. Okay, so we'll just delete that guy. We'll take this guy away, okay, and we'll just go ahead and we'll just attach these two. It's about like that. There you go. Okay. All right, now we've done a lot right there, so it's time to save our work, okay? Let's go ahead and just go File, Save, and let's save this guy. So we're just going to call it like bottle. Go. And then what we can do here is we can also just move this up so that it's sitting right in line with our x-axis. Okay. That'll just help us later on in life when we get into key shot. And there you go. Okay. All right, good news. Okay, so we're ready to do a revolve. If we wanted to, we could add some dimensions to this. There is a dimensioning tool. It's under drafting. It's right here. And that's, you know, self-explanatory. Linear dimensions are the kind of dimensions that we would be adding. So you can click on that tool, and it's point to point. So object snap is the thing to have turned on. And interesting fact about the dimensions in Rhino is that after you add them, they show up as their own item. So you can move them around and put them anywhere you want after you add them. And that can be a good thing or a bad thing. So you can, you know, if you wanted to make a layer for dims, you could do that. And then you could put your dimensions on that layer and hide them or show them at will. So why don't we go ahead and just do that because we're feeling good about it. There we go. And don't forget, right mouse button will reload the tool. So once you start using it, you can just hit right mouse button after you finish. Sorry, this takes a second, but okay, and then I'm just remembering one thing we need to do while we're down here, and that's going to be just cutting a little bit of a footer into this bottle. So let's just go ahead and do that now. I'll take a polyline, and I'm just going to turn on grid snap, and what I can do is just snap it right onto the z-axis there, and then we've got to go about 14 over. Okay, and then it's a certain depth. You know, I never even took the depth measurement, but I'll use the little depth finder on the back of my calipers to figure that out. It's 2. So we'll just wing this one. Just move it down 2, and then we'll use a nice little easygoing trim to just trim. This can be the cutting object. We'll trim off the base and escape. Reload the cutting tool. This can be our cutter this time, and we'll trim off that bit. There we go. And then we can go and just dimension that out a little bit. It should be somewhere in the neighborhood of 14. Yeah, there's that. Okay. So there you go. Let's just collect up all these dimensions. And we'll put them on our dimension layer. And we'll give them a fun little color. Dark gray. Okay. And then we'll turn them off. Okay, cool. Good news, guys. All right, time to do a revolve. Let's just join all of these curves together really quick while we have the chance. So we'll just go to join, and we'll just, excuse me, let's just select all the curves and go to join, and then just double check up here in the command line that it worked. 8 curves joined into one open curve, and then we'll go ahead and we will grab our revolve tool, which as we know is right here, and we will grab that curve. We will hit enter. Okay, we'll come down here just to make sure we're doing the right thing. Object snap right onto there. Turn grid snap on so we know we're right on the z-axis. Set our axis of revolution right there, and then we can just go up here to the command line, hit full circle, and looks like it worked. We'll turn on shaded view. And there she is. That's going to be our water bottle without any fillets, I may add. Okay, you always want to add your fillets at the last minute. Okay, so we're going to save our work one more time. I'm just going to use the hotkey Control S to do that. And in the next video, we'll start doing some fillets and start taking a look at any other details that we need to add to finish this thing out. Okay, all right. Hey, thanks a lot for watching, and hey, I'll see you in the next one.